Hello and welcome from Troy, Idaho. So glad to have you watching and joining us today online. And a special welcome once again to my church members in Endicott who are watching from there today. The sermon today is titled Smile, and the world smiles with you. 7 ways to be more positive. So let's take a break just right off the start and take a deep breath in. And if there's people around you at home, smile at them. And let's just start off with that note. But now, some of you are listening to this and thinking, oh no, are we in for one of those positive thinking, optimist, jumble jungo junk kind of sermons? And other people on the more positive side who are optimistic would be saying, yes, this is just what my spouse needed. He's grumpy all the time. Well, we are going to look at this from a biblical component, and we're going to see the benefits that can come when not trying to muster up some sort of fake sentimentality, but by thinking on the things that God would have us think about, how even in challenges, we can improve the quality of our life because of the reality of what God would want us to be able to see. So today, we're going to look at 7 ways to be more positive. But first, just for those pessimistic souls amongst us, a reality check. This comes from the book Bright-Sided, and it's all about the dangers of a pop psychology version of positive thinking. This book is written by a lady by the name of Barbara Einrich. And she challenges the negative consequences of naive positive thinking. She takes on pop psychology, the business world, cancer, and the prosperity gospel, just to name a few. She says, I do not write this in a spirit of sourness or personal disappointment of any kind, nor do I have any romantic attachment to suffering as a source of insight or virtue. On the contrary, I would like to see more smiles, more laughter, more hugs, more happiness, and better yet, joy. In my own version of utopia, there is not only more comfort and security for everyone, better jobs, healthcare, and so forth, there are also more parties, festivities, and opportunities for dancing in the streets. Once our basic material needs are met, in my utopia anyway, life becomes a perpetual celebration in which everyone has a talent to contribute. But we cannot levitate ourselves into that blessed condition by wishing it. We need to brace ourselves for a struggle against terrifying obstacles, both of our own making and imposed by the natural world. And the first step is to recover from the mass delusion that is positive thinking. Now let's put a pause there for a second. So the pessimists amongst us are saying, that's true. You can't just wish yourself to a better life. To which I would agree. But what we're looking at today is from the biblical mindset of understanding that in this world you will have trials and tribulations. But yet we see the biblical example and the disciples of Jesus who take his word seriously have an understanding that they can have joy in all things. Where the brother of Jesus says, consider it pure joy, my brothers, when you go through various trials. This is not natural. It's a supernatural sort of thing. So how do we get there? Paul talks about this in the book of Philippians where he says, I have learned the secret to being content in all circumstances. How does he do that? It's through Christ who gives him strength. He's learned the secret to success. And he gives another important biblical component when we want to understand biblical positivity. And this comes from Philippians 4 and verse 8. It's a familiar passage for many of us, but this is what Paul says here. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Other Bible translations will have the word meditate there. In our life, we are going to have struggles, we're going to have challenges, and there's going to be a list of negative things and positive things. Paul is not saying here to just ignore the reality of hardship. What he's saying is, think about what is true and what's noble and right and pure. In the struggle, there is still a way that we can keep our eyes on Jesus. And this, Paul's saying, is the way that we can have a life that is full of praise, even in the midst of hardship and trial. Research has shown that there is benefits of being an optimist. But what I'm calling us today as Christians and people that believe in God is to do this from the lens of biblical optimism. But here's just a few of the benefits. Number one, optimists live longer. They heal faster. They bounce back from upsetting events faster. They're more productive, healthier habits, including exercising more and smoking less. They feel more in control of their lives. They experience less depression and apathy. They have healthier relationships, have less stress, and report higher levels of satisfaction. So we can't just, as Barbara Einrich in her book Brightside would say, ignore the realities of life and wish a better one. But we can do what Paul is saying and focus on what is good and true, even in the midst of challenges. And as those things come to our mind, even if things are hard, we can actually still reap the benefits of biblical optimism. There's a book, or not a book, a magazine that the Seventh-day Adventist Church puts out, and it's called Vibrant Life. And this sermon today is taken from this article, Smile, the World Smiles With You. And I want to read a section that this magazine starts off with in talking about Angela Madsen. Angela Madsen was a military police officer in the U.S. Marines when she injured her back. The damage was so severe, she took an early discharge. As the days passed, her pain worsened, and she seemed to have no other choice but to have surgery. When she awoke from the anesthesia, Madsen was given a devastating update. Her spinal column had been pierced in surgery. She was now partially paralyzed from the waist down, and she might not ever be able to walk again. I did exactly what many people do after something like that. I went through a period of feeling hopeless, Madsen recalls. It's understandable why the single mother and grandmother from Long Beach, California, lost all hope. In rapid succession, everything in her world had started falling apart. She was unable to walk. She lost her job, and she gained weight, ballooning up to 300 pounds. Then, a transformative moment took place when she heard a doctor call her paralysis a waste of human life. That harsh comment didn't crush her. Instead, it energized her to begin thinking positively. Madsen vowed to do whatever it took to regain her life. In the years that followed, she devoted herself to making her body as strong as possible. She began participating in various competitive sporting events, including the Paralympics, earning an astonishing amount of awards in rowing, swimming, surfing. She learned to surf on her knees. Swimming, basketball from her wheelchair, shot put, javelin, and weightlifting. Then she took on the ocean, becoming the first woman with a disability to row across the Atlantic Ocean. 2 years later, she became one of the first 2 women to row across the Indian Ocean. Instead of being crushed by her physical condition, Madsen taught herself to focus on what she had rather than what she didn't have. In doing so, her burden became a blessing that propelled her to do more, be more, and achieve more than she had ever thought possible. Madsen's moment of transformation came when she decided to think positively, something recommended in the Bible. Whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about these things. I want to share a short clip with you now where you can see Madsen talking a little bit about what this transformative moment meant for her. So we'll play this clip now.
A disabled veteran who lost nearly everything found a new will to live at sea. So now she's teaching others the sport that gave her hope, and that makes her today's breakthrough woman. A botched back surgery almost 20 years ago left Angela Matson partially paralyzed.
I was angry. All I could see was a life of pain and suffering. 3-week hospital stay ended up being 3 months.
The former Marine lost her job, partner, home, and will to live until a comment kicked her into gear.
This chief of spinal cord injury told me that my physical condition was a waste of human life, and it pissed me off. And sometimes when you get pissed, you get motivated.
Angela returned to what empowered her in the past, sports. She found rowing came naturally.
Nice and relaxed.
To encourage other people with disabilities, Angela started the California Adaptive Rowing Program 12 years ago.
It helps me keep strong for daily life, and it's nice stress relief.
A lot of the skills that they learn in rowing builds confidence. It's helped them with their independent living. It's helped them with their goals and their plans in life.
Angela is the first woman to row across the Indian Ocean and the first woman with disabilities to row across the Atlantic Ocean.
I don't consider myself disabled because I believe I can. I think disability is the opposite. It's believing that you can't and never trying.
Hey, are you a breakthrough woman, or is there someone that you would like us to know about because they're just as remarkable as she is? Well, then go to hlntv.com/Robin.
For Manson, she took that moment of that harsh comment, and instead of internalizing it and becoming more and more depressed, she realized that does not have to be her defining reality, and there can be more to life. And she didn't let the disability that she had define her, but she used it as a challenge to say, what can I do with the reality of the situation that I'm in? So now, what we're going to do is look at 7 ways that we can be a more positive person. The foundation has to be understood through the worldview of the Bible, understanding that there is hard things. We can't just wish ourselves out of it, but we can choose to focus our worldview and lens on Jesus, who promises to be with us in all things. So number 1 is the 3-to-1 ratio. Again, talking about ways we can be more positive. And number 1 is the 3-to-1 ratio. So whenever something bad happens, and your tendency is to say, here it comes again, and be like Eeyore, where it says, just the grumbling and the complaining. It's like, here it goes. I knew this. It's always go bad. Nothing ever goes my way. When that mentality, the pessimism you're tempted with comes in, slow down, pause, and try to think of things that could be positive even within the hard situation. So for example, in the magazine, there's a story of a lady, and she gets a flat tire, and she's busy, and she's on her way to work. And instead of immediately going out and just being mad about it all, she takes a moment in the car and thinks of 3 things that she can be thankful for. Number 1, she realized, at least it's not snowing in a horrible storm. The weather's nice. Number 2, she realizes this could have been on a busy intersection. It's a quiet street. And then number 3, she realizes, I'm going to make this just fine. I have a cell phone, and if I can't do this, I can call for help. So you just slow down, and instead of having negative thoughts just go boom, 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 you think of some things that are actually going to be okay within the trial of the situation. So the 3-to-1 ratio, whenever something comes in, take time to reflect and think, okay, what is around me that can help within this challenge? Number 2, let positive comments stick like Velcro. You know that saying that Jesus says, where we are to love our neighbor as we love ourselves? The problem with that is a lot of times we don't love ourselves. John Stewart spoke of this, and he said, if you do not love yourselves, then leave your neighbor alone. But the problem that comes with when we don't love ourselves is sometimes we end up being our own harshest critic. So we not only can we not accept compliments from other people, we do that because we never allow ourselves compliments. Now, this doesn't mean that we have to in some ways idolize this false sense of self-esteem, but it does mean that we can be true with compliments and goodwill that people try to give us. I want to share this short video with you here now that kind of exemplifies this. The way that we sometimes speak to ourselves, we would never speak to other people. So let's change that and speak to ourselves in the way that we would want other people to speak to us if we knew that they really cared.
You are too dark.
You are not good enough.
You are worthless.
You are not that pretty.
And you are the ugly twin.
Would you feel comfortable reading out what you just read to me to your sister, but as if it was about her? Hey, how's it going?
Hi.
We're so quick to judge or be unkind to ourselves. I think we sometimes forget how harmful that can be. So I want to dive straight into it. Define in your own words what self-esteem is to you.
The way I feel about how the world views me.
If you look yourself in the mirror and you're happy with what you see,
you just have to know that you're important and that you matter.
How much confidence you have.
The way that you personally carry yourself around in life.
Tell me about some moments in your own life where you've struggled with self-esteem.
I have an identical twin. She's smaller than me. She doesn't have a gap in her teeth. So I kind of grew up comparing myself to her. I lose a lot of my self-esteem there, and I shouldn't because she's my best friend. Like, she would never put anything wrong on me. There's nothing on her there, but that's where I lose my self-esteem.
Yeah. What I'd love for you to do now is I'd love for you to think about some of the thoughts you've had that have negatively affected your self-esteem. And actually what I want you to do is write it down here.
okay.
And just write down the voice that you've heard in your head of a thought or something you've said out loud to yourself when you've had that experience of negative self-esteem.
Okay.
And take your time, no rush at all.
I think I'm done.
Yeah? You all right? If you feel comfortable, do you mind reading them out to me?
Okay, you are too dark. You are too tall. You are too touchy. And you are not like the rest of us.
You are not good enough. You are not as good as your friends or your sisters.
You are scared. You are worthless. You are unimportant.
You are not that pretty. You are not ready. You are unloved.
You are not skinny enough for that shirt. You're not smart enough to go to that college. And you are the ugly twin.
And how does it make you feel when you read that?
Sad.
You okay? Yeah? Yeah, we can be so harsh on ourselves sometimes. We judge ourselves so badly. And I'm sure when you're reading that, it's so harsh to hear it as well.
It's hard, actually. Yeah. You know, we're so busy saying it in our heads and it's so normal there, but when you like physically verbalize it, it gets a lot scarier.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really painful when we say that to ourselves. You all right? I wanna do something. Just wait there. Hey, Lauren, you gonna come with me? Okay. Yeah. You okay? Yeah. Ready? Awesome. Gonna make her feel better.
Yeah.
I've got someone I want you to meet.
Oh, gosh. Oh, my God. Hi, sweetie. Hi.
Oh, I love that. How long have you been doing that for?
Forever. A while. It's been a while.
I love that. That's awesome. So we just had a really important but tough conversation, and you were sharing some things with me. Would you feel comfortable reading out what you just read to me to your sister, but as if it was about her?
No, I can't do that.
No, I'm not going to do that.
No. Definitely not.
Why would you not?
Because it's just not very nice to say to someone. Not at all.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Like, we would never say those things to the person we love, but we say that to ourselves all of the time.
Yeah.
And so you actually wrote some things about your sister, right? And I'd love for you to read them out to her. Does that sound all right?
I wrote, you are beautiful, you are smart.
You are creative, you are talented, and you are brave.
You are determined. You are inspirational, and to me especially.
You are inspiring to me. That's why I copy what you do or want the same things you may have sometimes.
You are my best friend in the world, and you are the best person that I know.
Well, I mean, ever since we were little, I wanted to be you. I copied everything you did, and you're kind of like my best friend all the time.
God, Lauren.
And you're just my teacher about everything. You show me what to do when I get older and what to do now.
The saying goes, treat others like you want to be treated. But perhaps we got it all backwards. Maybe the expression should say, treat yourself with the same love and respect you want to show others.
I love you. I love you too, sir.
It's hard sometimes to accept a compliment because we have that inner dialogue that says, I am not worthy. But if we treat ourselves the way that we actually think and believe that we should treat others, we would be more open, perhaps, to accepting the truth and the love that people want to bring our way. So again, if we go off that second point in today's sermon, let positive comments stick like Velcro. When people give you a gift of a compliment, accept it graciously and allow yourself to believe it and speak kindly to yourself in the way that you would want to speak to others. Number 3, spend time with people who believe in you. Surround yourself with positive people who believe in your dreams. Encourage your ideas and support your ambitions and bring out the best in you. These are relational vitamins. If the people around you are negative, depressing, and they're constantly putting you down, that will have an effect. In fact, in the magazine, there's a psychologist from Harvard that says an estimated 95% of our success is based on the people that we surround ourselves with. Of course, there's always outliers to that, but the truth is, if you have people that are in your corner, that are wanting the best for you, that are encouraging you, that is going to pay dividends. This isn't to say you just cook every friend to the street, but it's important to be intentional about the people that you surround yourself with for your good and for their good. Sometimes negative influences, especially when it comes to the area of addiction, for instance, need to have boundaries put around them, and we need to bring more positive influences and people into our lives. Number 4, bring the light with you. Most of us are familiar with that children's song, "This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine." And the truth is, we can make the decision to let our light shine wherever we go. If we bring that intentionality to the market, to Home Depot, to where we work, and with intentionality, we're going to say, I want to bless this person. Our light becomes this contagious sort of thing where people can be encouraged, and then that ripple effect can go from there. It's better to light a candle than to curse the darkness. So let your little light shine. It's another way in the biblical worldview that we can increase our positivity. Number 5, keep a calendar of gratitude. Research again shows that people who journal things that they're thankful for and think about it each day actually end up being more positive people. So this takes this intentionality to be aware of the blessings that you have in your life. And they're always there. No matter what you're going through, there's things to be thankful for. And this is a proven way to increase your positivity. Number 6, act positively on behalf of others. One of the secrets of life is that all that is really worth the doing is what we do for others. When our focus is not self-focused but other-focused, we start to see that this life is worth living in the investments that we make for other people. And it's in this same vein that if you find yourself in a challenge like Angela Madsen was, there's going to be other people that have made it in a similar circumstance. So she, of course, was paralyzed, and so she looks up, okay, what can I do? She joined the Paralympics and won multiple medals. She was able to share her story, be one of the first women to row across the Atlantic and Indian Oceans. She sees from other people, and she becomes that kind of person. It's the same thing with cancer. People that are fighting through cancer can find inspiration from other people that have been on that journey before. People that have lost loved ones. Other people have been there before. How did they make it? How do we cope? So you don't have to deny reality. You could even say, man, this really stinks. What do I do? What can I do? Draw inspiration from others, and then once you get that courage, become the kind of person that makes it your mission to go out and bless other people. Act positively on behalf of others. And then finally, number 7, I guess that was number 7 there. This concludes the sermon. And again, I recommend this magazine, Vibrant Life, and today's sermon was taken from one of the articles. And if you have not ever received this magazine, type it in on the web browser, Vibrant Life, and it's all focused on health, on the mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical component of things. So let's just recap again real fast the 7 things, and then I'll close with prayer. There's the 3-to-1 ratio. That means instead of just thinking, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, if something bad happens, take a moment and think of 3 things in that moment that you can be thankful for. Number 2, let positive comments stick. Speak well of yourself and speak well of others, but receive compliments as a gift. Number 3, spend time with people who believe in you. Number 4, bring the light with you. Number 5, keep a calendar of gratitude. And number 6, act positively on behalf of others. I guess the number 4, or one that I forgot to put in here, was get inspired by positive thinkers. But those are the 7 things, and let's conclude with prayer. Dear Father in heaven, this world is not our home, and there's many things that we can look at and realize this is not good. So we don't want to pretend that it's all swell and just have a fake sort of positivity. But we do want to be able to, even in trials, keep our eyes on you and have a biblical positivity that's based on hope and faith. So help us to follow Paul's advice in Philippians 4:8 and think on the things that are true and lovely and noble and admirable and of a good report, to reflect on these things, the praiseworthy things. So be with us now, and we pray this in your name. Amen.